Let me know if the audio is coming through now. I'm going to move this around. Let me know if the audio is coming through now. Yep. Judging by the echo, I'm going to say yes. Terry, hey, I'm glad that you pop in at least. Go ahead, unmute this. Anyway, we should have sound now. Okay. I was setting things up in OBS, and I guess I might have switched. I'm trying to switch how many audio tracks we have. I'll play around with that a little more. It's weird because it shows up in my recording. It shows up in my recording, but it's not showing up on stream, and I don't know why. Anyway, back to this. Numbering system for my students. We have to, for the AP exams, they have to learn how to convert between binary, hex, and decimal. So, making a small tool for it. So we have 4 now. So I need to get the click events. Okay, so well, let's go ahead and grab the signal. I still keep calling them events. So I'm going to use this one. I'm going to copy the name. Because when you're doing C#, it doesn't copy it over automatically for you. Not in this version anyway. So public void, we don't need to overload. There were 3 parameters. No, there's 1 parameter this one. I think it's event args, which I will just call E. Actually, I don't need all the events. The only one I really need is input. I'm going to change this function name as well after, but input. Let's do mouse, I think it's button. And then let's just print it out. gd dot print and event. And I want to change this. And that means I have to come back in. I'm gonna get rid of these ones. Now let's get one working. And we'll disconnect. And let's reconnect. And I don't want the 1 in the name. Now we'll connect. Let's save, jump back in. Let's run it. And we got an error. Input event mouse nothing. There's no mouse nothing. There we go. Whoops, this one. There we go. We're getting events even when we mouse over. So we're only concerned about when it's pressed. So we could say if e dot d dot pressed. Then we'll do the print statement. Stop it. Okay, so no event when we mouse over, but when we click, we're getting the event. Great. So we got a value. And bit 1 should be set to value 1. Yep. Let's just print that out for now. So instead of saying event, we're just going to say whatever the value is. And that should be, oh, we got to change the color. Okay, so we'll say this dot color. I'm extending color rect. Why am I not getting it? Anyway, this is going to be equal to, oh, if we press it, we have to see what the current color is. So we'll say if this dot color is equal to off color, then I'm still gonna put this up here. Then we'll say this dot color is going to be equal to on color. And then for the else, because it can only be one, and I'm not sure why I copy and pasted, else this dot color is equal to off color. Okay, that should toggle the colors. Okay, so I want it to be red to start with. So we just come in here and we say, we started off at 0. I don't really need an update display. I'll just set it in here. So this dot color is equal to off color. And I'm only using this keyword right now because a lot of the word color is showing up a lot. I just want to be explicit. I'm old, I get confused enough. All right, now we're starting off red, it's off. So when we click it, it turns on. We should put a binary number underneath it as well. I'm gonna grab this, we're gonna add a label. Okay, we'll move it down right underneath, right about there. We'll give it a 0 by default. Let's align it to the center and in the middle. We'll grab a font after. For now, let's just get it. Okay, let's change it when it changes. So I need to grab that label. It's a child. And what should we call this? Value. Say bit value. So we need to get a reference to it. And I don't want to look it up every time, so we'll just store a reference to it. So private, what was it? It was a label. And I'm going to call it bit value. And then in here, we'll grab it. So we can say bit value is equal to get node. The node we're looking for is of type label. And the name of it is bit value, all capitalized. That should grab it. And then down here, we'll just go ahead and change the value of that label. So it's a type label. So I should be able to say bit value dot text. Is it text? It is text. Is equal to, and we're going to say value dot to string. Not gonna lie, the lack of autocomplete makes me nervous. Okay. What did I do wrong? Oh, Roy. Hey, Roy. How you doing? You want some Unity stuff? I haven't used Unity in a while. I used it for a summer class that I taught. But outside of that, I haven't really used Unity at all, really, this year. I mostly do all my stuff inside of Godot, 2D and 3D. I like it much better now. But it's game dev is game dev. It doesn't really matter what engine you use. You still have to learn how to do everything behind the scenes. Let me quickly check, see what the error is. To string, capital S. If I had my autocomplete working, I'm gonna close this down. Maybe if I reopen it, it'll do it. There should be a lot of Unity channels out there right now anyway, right? Okay, so we're going to 1. We're not going back to 0. Oh! So when it turns on, I need to display the value. When it turns off, I need to display a 0. Can you hear the music, by the way? Give me a second here. I got to scroll down. Baba Ganoush, hey, how you doing? Cool. I grab the odd humble bundle every so often. Since I started doing a lot of my own 3D modeling, less inclined to grab them. I still grab sprite packs because I ain't got no time for that. Yeah, it happens. I haven't had a problem with it all year. I started streaming the beginning of this week and I've had problems with it. Let me just quickly, so software, turning it on, and here's where it's going to be text is equal to zero. Let me just try something. Value dot to, it's still not auto-completing for me. I was just doing some coding before this. Autocomplete was working fine. But anyway, that should be enough to get the bit working. There we go. So let's work on decimal next. Eric, hey, how you doing? I have students that are so much faster than me at building sprites. You know, great. I grab all the free stuff. Was itch.io. I get a lot of Kenny stuff. I know he has a lot of it for free. I am logged in. I think there's one pack left I got to get off of him. Yeah, these here help me out tremendously. Just a sec. Sorry. I muted last stream and screwed everything up. So let's get everything working fine first. Then we'll worry about all the extras. But yeah, this here, he does have them for free on his site, but they're not that expensive. I think they're like $10 each. If you're not into making your own sprites, he has a ton of stuff just available for you. I think it's well worth the investment. Not promoted, by the way. The whole banana. Hey, how you doing? I like Godot. The more I use it, the more I like it. Now, what I'm going to do is take this bit 1, pretty much have it working the way I want. So I'm going to go and make it its own scene. So for those, again, coming from Unity, scene, think of it as kind of like a prefab. So say branch as scene. I'm just going to call it a bit. And now I can click on this and it'll open up just that scene. I like to develop everything together and then kind of break things out as I go. Later on, we're going to break it out into a nibble. Probably not a byte. I don't think I'm ever going to do anything with a byte, but we could do nibbles. I'm going to do decimal next. So we'll just start it off as a label. And I'm going to just grab it, put it right about here. I always like to look at it. Let's go to value. Maybe I'll go find a nice spot. Actually, I'm not even going to look. I'm just use babies. Everyone loves the babies. So we'll call this LBL decimal. Let's make a script for it. And again, I'm just throwing them all in the same folder. There's not going to be a lot. Looks good. So we'll create. Okay, so we don't need that. We're not going to do anything on the every frame update. I do need a total. I don't need to export it though. So private int total. I am going to start off at 0. Yeah, I know. Without the equal 0, C# automatically has it set to 0, but I still like to do it. I have to jump through so many different languages. I can't keep them straight sometimes. Which ones default to 0, which ones you don't have to. When I'm doing C++, you have to specify, but anyway. So what am I going to need here? I need to be able to update the display. So this will be, let's make it public. Void update total. Sounds great. We're going to pass in a certain amount. And we'll have to take the total and add to it the amount that's passed in. And then for updating the display, I'm going to do that separately. And this will be a private. I see some chat. Just give me a second till I get the function done. Private doesn't return anything. And I'll just say update display. Baba Ganoush. I'm going to be shaving it off maybe tomorrow or the next day. I've got a permanent dent from wearing a mask. I'm not sure if that shows up on stream. Give me just a second here. This one. Yeah, I got that permanent dent from wearing a mask all the time. And I've tried everything to get rid of it. So I'm just going to shave it off. Shaving the head too. All the hair is going. It's time to get rid of that quarantine haircut. Okay, so maybe if I cut it off, we'll like put some Viking jewelry or something into it. So in here, we're just going to grab this dot text is going to be equal to, this is just decimal, so we can say total dot to string. Come on. And that should be fine. And we need to call from here. So update, well, look at all those updates. And update display is in there. Give me a second. Yeah, I've got that. And I've got this as, So as far as tutorials go, I've got the first 3 done. Well, I've got 2 done. I got the first one and the third one. I realized I needed a second one in between there on how to install the mono version of Godot. So I'll probably do that later. I'm not sure how many videos a week I'll do. I'm thinking 2, maybe 3. Like 3 is easy right now, but when we start getting to harder stuff, the amount of time it would take to like, do the research, get everything working, then put it up. So I'll probably go with 2 and then streaming whenever I have time. I like streaming. It's much more social, allows me to talk to people that have a common interest. But anyway, I don't think I'm going to need this. So let's get rid of it. And now I need a way to call it. So we need to get a reference to it. And actually, I'll just come here and I'll just grab it. So private, it's a type label. And what I'm just going to call it decimal display. And we'll need to go out and get it. So decimal display is equal to get node. The type of node we want, again, label. And the name of it is off the look. I see some chat scrolling by. Give me just a sec. I need more windows. Yeah, I put in 50. Spin myself around like a record. Um, yeah, you can see the dent. Like when I'm outside, I'm always wearing a mask. Like I'm vaccinated, but with the where I live, we do have the Delta variant flying around. I don't want to get it. I don't mind wearing a mask. It's just when I'm at school, you know, like I'm always talking, so you know you've got the heat from your breath. I'm really like steaming my beard like every day, so that's fine. I'll cut it off, get it short. Once COVID's under control, hopefully, I'll let it grow back. It's just hair. All yours is the same way. You got a dent in yours too. Erica, thanks. Like I said, I'm going to try to get probably 2 tutorials right now. I think 2 is sustainable. 3, yeah, right now, but again, later on, it'll get a little harder. The live streams, like I said, I like them, so I'll probably do them fairly regularly. Now, I don't like to watch live streams. I like to do live streams. So yeah, all the code for this, if anyone's interested in it, will be up on GitHub. There will not be like a short tutorial on how to make this. It's just going to be up on good GitHub. The car racing one, there is going to be a tutorial. I'll live stream the actual creating of it so we can talk and you can see my decisions, why I did what. But the tutorial will just be kind of going over the code. Do a lunar landing type game in Godot. Well, after I'm done the car racing one, I was going to do a platformer. Someone wanted like a Legend of Zelda type clone. We already have those out there. Once I'm done or getting close to the end of the car one, and that should only be at most 10 videos. Once I get close to that, I can put a poll up. We'll see what people want. I'll start asking for suggestions, and we can go from there. What do I call it? LBL decimal. Sound good? Because the first few I make, like I said, is strictly going to be C#. I might just do everything in C#. Because we have a ton of examples of GD script. And I don't really like doing C++. It takes so long to get things going. C#'s a nice happy medium. Okay, so once we get it, I have to call that function. I call it decimal display. There we go. I think I called it update total. And update total still not shown there. Do I spell it right? Anyway, we're going to pass in. This is when we're turning it on. So we pass in the value. And provide I didn't spell anything wrong. On this one, we're going to pass in the negative value. When we turn it off, we have to subtract it. Yeah, I like C#. Like, don't get me wrong. I love GD script. It's so simple. For 95+% of the stuff you do, you're not going to notice the performance difference between that and C#. A lot of people that I've talked to that are basically leaving Unity or still in Unity, one of the big things that they have a hang up as far as trying Godot goes is they just want to use C#. They're like, GD script, I don't want to learn something new. And that's perfectly valid if you're comfortable in C# and that's the only language you really use. That's fine. More videos will not hurt. Once I get this done, we can take a look. I found some videos for anyone that's interested in actually seeing what Godot can do 3D visually. It's pretty good. Okay, so that should work. No problem. I'm gonna make that font bigger. I can't read it. It's there from? Not a problem. That one. Oh, like a chair with a good back spoke. Okay, now I get it. Yeah. I'm not doing boo. I did Boo when Unity first came out. You can do, like, there is a plugin that allows you to use, like, for those that are new to Godot, by default, you can do C#, C++, and Godot script, which is like Python. But there's plugins that allow you to just straight up do Python. There's one for Lua, there's one for Rust. Those are the three that I just always remember off the top of my head. But I know there's other ones. People have talked about the language that they use. But anyway, let's test this out. This should be working now. I start it up. Well, maybe it won't be working. Let's find out what that error is. Missed a semicolon right there. Oh. Definition for update total. Is that not what I called it? Update. And it's public void update total. I'm passing it an int. Okay, what that error say? Label does not. It's not a type label. My bad. It's of type this. There we go. It's of the type that you make it. And no, I don't want to make this my main scene. Okay. And well, almost. Two more errors. No, cannot find decimals. LBL decimal. Oh, because it's on the same level, I have to say go up a tier and then down. Linux pathing, and it's double dot. Yeah, double dot. Try that. Chat was rolling. Timo, hey, how you doing? I just want to say thanks. So you started learning development and now 8+ years later. Wow, you've been following for that long? The name sounds familiar. Was it Sweden? Real-time watercolor. I don't know what that is. Yeah, basic. For Baba Ganoush, I remember basic on the Tandy. The old Cocoa machines. TRS-80. Okay, so, oh yeah, I just fixed the pathing. Let's see if that works. There we go. So now if we add more nodes, and I will call it bit 2. I'm just going to move it over a bit. We're now up to 2 bits. Oh, I got to change the value of the second bit. The second value should be a 2. There we go. Decimals counting up. Oh, I got to switch this to a 1. It should only ever be 1 or 0. Let me catch up here again. Yep, still alive. Oh, no problem. Glad to see you again, Timo. Okay, so bit value right here. We're just toggling between 1 and 0. There we go. So let's make the rest of a nibble. I'll grab bit 1, bit 2. We'll duplicate them. Let's move them over. And whoops. Oh, crap. Around there. Let's grab them all now. I want to make sure they're all in the same horizontal. Rect Position on Y, let's just do 21. Whoops, what was it before? Let's do 212 or 213. There we go. So they're all lined up on Y. We got to change the values of them. So bit 3, that's a 4. And then bit 4 is an 8. Okay, so we run it. 1, 3, 7, 15. Okay, so we've got a nibble, making another nibble to make a bite. That's fine. Let's work on hex. We need a hex display now. Okay. So I'm just going to copy. Oh, let's not copy decimal. I'll need a new script. So let's make another label. Thinking how I want it displayed. Like I know eventually I am going to have want the hex down here. So each nibble or each hex or each byte will have two hex values. I do not want it as a child of that. Well, this is LBL hex. Just trying to think how I want to formulate it. So not sure how to pronounce your name. Is it Joa? Iago. I can pronounce that part. You watched the first long series in Unity when you started. Okay. Yeah. Get busy. I don't think people realize how long it takes to make some videos. RPG games are still my favorite. I love just classic roguelike RPG style games. I still make them. I actually started planning a new one that I wanted to make. I was watching my son play Spore, and I started thinking about how would I put that in a roguelite. Let me find. I got it written up. It's a 3D game, roguelite. So I am working on a new game. When will I get time to actually start coding? It's a 3D game though, so it'll be a while. Maybe around Christmas I'll start that one. Okay, so anyway, back to my nibble. We have our label hex, which is really small up there. So start it off at 0. Oh, I had it as a child. Its anchors are all screwed up. You know what? I'm just going to delete it instead of remaking it or repositioning it. Make sure I have the parent selected. Now we'll add a label. And we'll change this to LVL hex. And this will be down roughly here. I'll start it off at a 0 value. And let's center it. And we'll add a script. I'll keep it as LBL hex. Honestly, it's almost the exact same thing as LBL decimal. I couldn't inherit from it. Maybe later. So let's do private int total. I'll start it off at 0. Don't need that. Don't need this. And honestly, I'm just going to be doing this. The only difference is when you want to convert decimal to hex in C#, they have a conversion for you. I think that's it. I think that's the only difference I need right now. I'll have to go out and find it. So private LBL hex, and I'm going to call it hex display. And I just realized I should have made these text fields so people could type in a decimal number and it would show you the rest. Maybe we'll change that after. Boom. Text display. I see chat scrolling. Just give me a minute here. I want to go get my node. The type of node that I want will be LBL hex. The name of my node is LBL hex. All right. And then when I come down here, I can do hex display. I'll just paste that in. And I think that's it. Let me catch up on chat. Well, yeah, it's just again, for some of my students that work better with visual tools. Instead of me just always writing up on the board and erasing stuff, I find stuff like this helps them out. It doesn't take me that long to code it up. Like if I wasn't streaming, I'd have it done in less than an hour. And it's something I can just build up and just give them. Hey, play around with this. I could have went with sprites. Usually I do light bulbs. I didn't want to go out and draw light bulbs. So I might have been able to find some online. I think colors are fine. Red's off, yellow's on. Could have made it green, any color you want. But yeah, essentially I find it, people respond better to the visual. All right, the moment of truth. Let's fix that here. Let me catch up real quick first. Have to include random mimic chests in a row. Yeah. That's almost the first thing. That's almost always the first creature I make. Super important. Oh, I'm glad it led to a career for you, Tiago. No problem. Thanks for dropping by. Okay, so my error. No, not found LBL hex. Oh, again. I'm so used to having everything parented. Like I'd have like my master script on here. And because I built it a little bit differently, Linux pathing. Now, when you're inside of GD script, you don't have to do that. You can just use the $ and start typing out the name. You don't get that in C#. You have to use the get node. It's one of the things you give up. Okay. 2. Here we go. All right, converted to an F. We got it. Wait a minute. Take away. I need a minus sign down here. All right. 8. Should we go all the way up to F? There we go. Okay. We got our nibble working. Obviously, it's a little weird last week. I had to do an anime date in 3D. I had to pick out. Okay. Well, that's how I'm going to have to do decimal. Well, there is, again, in C#, I can convert an int to a string for hex. Not hex, sorry, binary. And then I can just parse through. What time is it? My son will be home soon, so let's get it a nibble one made up. So minus the decimal. So I guess I'll just make a new node. I'm going to call it nibble. Part of me wants to have the hex be the root node for all of my bits. And it'd be short and sweet to do it that way, but it's kind of like syntactically wrong. Like 1 digit of hex does represent a nibble. We could use it. Will they get revenge? Okay, so I think that's actually what I'm going to do, just because it makes things really simple. Well, no, let's just make a nibble all by itself. I just need a node, and I'm going to make it well, let's just do a node. Actually, no, we'll do a node 2D because I want the stuff that comes with it. And I'll take all of this, we'll put it in here. Now my pathing is going to change again. X, I'm just going to leave under here as well. But my pathing to this is going to change, so I'll have to go up 2. Now this is where I start getting into, I just wanted to make events for everything to change, instead of having that direct coupling. Yeah, I don't need to over engineer this one. Let's just get it working. So I've got a nibble all set up. You know what? I'm just starting to over engineer it. It doesn't need to be that complex. Because I can grab... oh, wait a minute. If I do another nibble... I don't want to have to keep changing the name of my hexes. So yeah, for simplicity, I am going to do it this way. So we'll have to change some pathing. So 1 hex. I just have to get the parent. Can I just do hex display dot well, I think this will work. We'll see. If it doesn't work, I'll look it up. Okay, so for this one now, it's like this. Let's find out. We've already got errors. I could not find decimal. I could not find hex. Okay, I'll just got to get the parent in C#. Because I thought it was just, let me... I'll comment this one out, and then, well, let's comment them both out. Let's grab that parent. So I should be able to do hex display is equal to this dot parent. Oh, what do we get? Timo, thank you for the super chat, $5.91. Thank you very much. I didn't realize I had those on. Damn it, I had the sub goal up too. I'm trying to get 10 new subscribers this week. Much appreciated. So let's see if that works. I might have to look up again, see the C# version of it. Okay, that's fine. Godot. C#. How to get the root parent node of a child. I think this is just going to be get tree, get root, get So getting trees, getting the whole thing, then you're getting the root, and you're getting the node parent. Not how I want to do it. It will work. I'll use the get node. I don't need this part. I know there's a way I can do it with pathing though. I might try this way. I think there's a better, oh, get owner. Maybe it's get parent. Let's see if that works. My first super chat. Yeah. I still get things jumbled up. You know, when you've done Unity for 10 plus years, Brandon, just busy. Back for a while. I'm going to try to stick around at least Christmas. See what happens next semester. Right now, it doesn't look like I'm going to be that busy next semester. So I might be doing this for a whole year. But let's do get. Doesn't have a get parent. I'm going to try that, see if it errors. I know there was something along that lines. I just don't know the C# version of it. You'd have me bacon, what? Not the one that makes typos. Let me take a look at this again. I know there's a get parent. That's the one I want. I'd prefer not to use. We could do the export on node path. That actually might be a good one for the decimal. I'm going to copy that. See, there is a get parent. I knew there was. Let's see the output. And that's the one I want to use. I want to use the get parent. Yeah, I'm not worried too much about performance for this thing. It's almost done. Emerson, hey. Glad to see you pop in. We could do the node path one. I'm just gonna put it up there just so we can see it. So export. This is not the way I want to do it though. Type node. I've never actually done this in C#. And let's call it well, here we'll do it this way. Hex display. Boom, boom, boom. LBL hex. We'll call it that. And then we should be able to do get node of type LBL hex. And then inside of here do LBL hex. And we gotta let it compile. So many errors we got. Oh, we still got errors. We only got one though. Those aren't helping. Okay, so let's assign. Oh, wait, we got to click here. Then we got to come over here. Then we got to click. All right, grab the hex. We got to do it for all of them. I think I can do all of them all at once. Save, make sure nothing blows up. We'll give it a shot. Kind of worked, but then it errored. Oh, it's because it's called the decimal. We don't have the decimal set up now. No. Node not found relative to root number. Okay. But it did work because we got the output. It did. Let's just try the one. So that type. Screw this. I'm going back to the parent way. Again, it's all in GD. Oh, here we go, C#. Parent node equals rigid body. So it is just get parent. They do have it typed. Why is it not working for me? So we'll type it as and then just get parent. So type get parent. Okay, we'll check it out. Oops, chat. Lloyd, hey, how you doing? Sounds great. Okay, so didn't okay, so let me see. Glad to see you. I'm glad you found him useful, Lloyd. I should create a new channel. I got enough channels. But I'm up here where the error was already. So it's on the input. It says that object reference is not set. Okay. So I'm trying to set my own text. It's the bit value, which is right here. That should be fine. It's right underneath me, right? Yeah. I should dump this channel. It's kind of dead. If I started from scratch, it'd be just as dead, right? I'll just stick with it. If I start up another channel, I have to come over here and post a video saying, hey, if anyone wants to still follow my game development stuff, go over to this other channel. I'd rather just have it here. I have no idea why it's erroring on the bit now. I'm going to come up here after the bit is set. GD.print, and let's do bit value dot text. And of course, a semicolon. I'm fine. I have, it's not like I'm ever going to reach 1 million subscribers or anything on this channel. That's perfectly fine. It gives me an outlet to do what I want to do. Okay, so if I click the one, so I get all 4 zeros, so it is finding it. When I click here, I get an error. Let's comment these out. Try it again. Okay, so it is, I think it's when it's going out and trying to find the decimal. That's got to be it, right? Put the hex back in. Yeah. Okay. Oops. Did it just crash on me? Oh, it's because when I go to take it away, it's looking for the hex. I don't have that set up yet. Okay, so we got it. This does work for getting the parent. So now that I'm a parent, I want to get what's... This will be a little different. Okay, now we need dot. This isn't going to work though. Actually, let me see what get parent returns. Does it return a path, or does it actually return the object? So it actually returns the object. So it's actually returning this. I'm gonna have to go from the root. That'd be the easiest way to do it. I hate doing it that way because if you ever change something, you got to come back and change it again. I could go with events or set up a signal for it. You know what? I don't want to screw around with all this pathing. I'm just going to set a signal up. That's how I should have did it with hex too. Anyway. So I guess I'll do it up at the top here. C# signals, not something I've done a lot here. Let me catch up quickly on chat. Sub to view ratio, that's fine. Now, I used to stream on Twitch last year. I like it over on Twitch, but when I came back this year, there was a lot of disgruntledness, I guess. I guess I even got affiliate over on Twitch. But I don't know, I just like YouTube better. Yeah, I've got some music playing. It's actually royalty-free music, but apparently that's not coming through the stream either. At least we got the audio going through. I'll try to figure it out later. It's kind of hard to test because it shows up my recordings, but it's not showing up on the stream, and I don't know why. I guess I can make a private stream later and test it. We'll see. It's not that important. The music's for me. It's like it calms my OCD down. Okay, so anyway, signals in C#. Like normally you would just come in and do signal. Let's do clicked. Then pass a value in. And then if I save this off, let's come in, do a recompile. Got an error. I'm probably going to do a delegate. Now there are C#. You can just use standard C# signals or events. But I kind of want to use these ones. The type or namespace signal cannot be found. Okay, well, let's look up how it's done inside of C#. Godot. Signals. Do I want to do those? Here we go. So I'm not going to do the timer one. I'm setting up my own custom signal. I know how to connect. Again, there we go. Custom signals. Okay, so signal's a tag, and we have to make a public delegate. Okay. I like Godot better. I haven't been happy with Unity since pre-2017 version, and it was around the 2017 version that I just got tired of being. I'd go to implement something, and there's 4 ways to do it. 2 of them would be deprecated. One's in alpha, one's in beta, and it was just such a crap roll. You don't know, like, okay, if I pick this one, am I still going to be able to use it 6 months down the road? And they just kept going down that path of getting stuff started. Like, they'd get rid of things before they had the new ones in place. Look how long it took them just to get a new UI in place to replace the whole on GUI stuff. Their multiplayer networking was another one that it just annoyed me. In Godot, I had my high school students in a matter of a month making multiplayer games over a network. Admittedly, it was like Among Us type networking where you needed the IP to type in, but you could play a multiplayer inside of Godot so easily. And this was like a 3D game that they were making. There was just so many little things. And also the subscription model. I think that was the final nail in the coffin. It really was the biggest nail in the coffin. I don't want to have to pay a subscription to get the full thing. With Godot, I've got the full thing. If I really want to do super high fidelity stuff inside of like a 3D game, I'll go and use Unreal Engine. It's better for that than Unity anyway. Godot is way better in 2D, and it's really not that bad in 3D. Before I look this up, let's just take a look here. I can't remember what my search was now. Like, some people have made some amazing things, even without the Vulkan renderer. This wasn't it. This looks like something different. I guess you're not going to be able to see it. Now, Valheim's not that high, like, fidelity. Okay, well, he's showing how to recreate the... I'm looking for something graphically intense. The train engine inside of Godot is so much better than the one that's inside of Unity. You can actually put holes in the map. Easily. Oh, for Quake maps, I forgot about that one. Here we go. So you have like a river tool. You can make some really good looking 3D stuff inside of Godot. Timers. Height map. This is the one I use. There's a plugin for making voxel terrains as well. So yes, if you are into that super high fidelity stuff, I'd still wait. I'd start now, but realize you're not going to get the Vulkan performance until Godot 4 comes out. Since it is open source, you can go download it. Take note that when they're painting the cliffs here, you can set slope limits. So it won't go like up here or down there. It'll only do like the slope within a certain range. Since it's open source, there's so many really cool plugins for it that, I don't know, I like it so much better. It's one of those things when I first started, it was okay. I liked it for 2D, but 3D was just kind of like hit or miss with me. But again, the more I used it, the more plugins I found, the better it just performed for me. Hopefully that answers it. Let me see. Why did you switch? So yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Now, I'm not saying Unity's bad. I just got tired of all the juggling, and I didn't want to have to pay a fee. I like having the full thing. I know I could use when I'm doing stuff for clients, I can't really use the free version, right? And I've slowed down most of the stuff I do now. I like teaching, so $150 a month is quite extreme for doing a project here and there. Sure, I was still getting enough work to pay the bills for it, but I can just do it inside of Godot and not have to worry about paying that $150 a month. And for the client, for the most part, they don't care. Actually, there's been people I've talked to that especially didn't want Unity because they're so used to the like the pump and dump stuff that you see on Steam. And I try to explain to them, like we can make custom assets. We don't have to do anything off the asset store, but I just like Godot better. Personal opinion. You could try it. You might not like it. That's fine. Let me quickly catch up. Yeah, signals. There's 3 ways I use signals. One is on the object itself. So like when you click a button, let's say you're making your own, for some reason you're making your own custom button. So when you click the button, it contacts itself. We're already doing that inside of the bit. So right here, we're using a built-in signal, but we're handling it. When we click on this rect, which is just a colored box, we're doing something with it. Another way I do it is where we make a custom signal inside of here, and this is more of the standard broadcaster design pattern, where I'd click on it, and then I have other things. The observer is listening to it, which in this case, I'm only going to have the decimal one. And then I do another one where we create a singleton. And singletons, again, you can still do in the C# way, but Godot has a new way where you can make the script, and then you put it in as an auto load, and it becomes a singleton. I like this way better than actually creating a singleton itself. It's much faster, and I find it tidier. It's a little bit more work doing the C# version versus the Godot version, but I do like it better that way. So sometimes I'll just go ahead and make kind of like a quasi signal manager. It's not a full-blown signal manager with like state tracker or anything like that. I find I don't really need to get that deep into it when I'm doing it with Godot. You can if that's the way you're used to doing it. There's nothing wrong with it. It works. But anyway, I'm going to try to set up a custom signal, the standard observer pattern. So I'm going to take a look here. So we have the emit signal. This is when we click. We want to emit the signal. And then somewhere else, we got to be able to listen to it. Public delegate my signal bool value. No, this is me sending it out still. So the listener, it's usually in ready. Oh, in other value. Oh, it's in ready. We're still emitting. We'll get to it in a second. Let me grab this one then. Connecting signals and code. Oh, we can just do I don't want to do it that way because we have too many bits. And then every time I add a new bit, I have to add another line of code. I don't want to do that. But anyway, custom signals, this is what I'm going to do it this way. And we're going to call it bit changed. And I should be able to pass in a value. And they're not typed. I'll probably have to type them inside of C#. Let's see what happens when I try to compile. Like worst case scenario, it works the other way. I can always just do a lot of undos. I should have uploaded to GitHub while I had it actually working. I'm not available in C#. Please use language version. What? So once we upgrade, how do I do that? Let's try not passing in a value. I've done signals in C# before, but it was ages ago. Yeah, in GD script, it's way easier. GD script, again, it's probably about 3 to 5 times slower than C#, but that's only when you're getting into like super intensive stuff, like procedurally generating a dungeon. You're not really going to notice it in your average coding stuff. And then when you compare it to say something like C++, it's about 10 times slower, but again, only in the like procedurally generated stuff. As far as just regular code, you're not going to notice it. But C++ is so much worse to implement and so much worse documented. C#, it's a nice medium. Oh, idiot. There we go. Okay, what's the error I got now? We'll have to replace those with emits. Okay. Let's see if I can pass out an int. I'm just going to call it value. Yeah. Okay. So now I need to emit the signal, which will be down here. And I'm just going to copy and paste one of the emit lines right here. So one with a value, here we go. So if we take a look here, he's passing out 2 values. So I wonder, do I not, in GD script, I always had the values up here, as well as like what the actual variable is down here. But I always had to say that there was some value. Something to play around with, see if we actually need that or not. Public delegate, what do I call it? It changed. And the oh, this isn't idiot. This is the listener. That's not the emission. Emit. Okay, so name of and it changed, and I'm going to pass in that value. And let's see if I get an error just on trying to send that out. And I did. Non-invocable member bit changed. No. So I want to emit my signal. Let's declared your signal, which we've done up here. It will appear in the inspector and be connected the same way as the node's built-in signal. To emit the signal via code, use the emit signal function. I might just pull up my old project where I've done it. I've got signals in that. I should be able to find that. So yeah, public delegate void. I've got my signal. I can pass in the values, which is the types anyway. That looks fine. Why is my emission not working? Well, there's a lot less documentation on C#. I don't know, it was like a year, maybe year and a half ago when I first started playing around with Godot, and I was playing on a C#. Oh, the documentation was like next to non-existent. Now keep in mind, it's an open source project, so it moves a little bit slower. It doesn't have, you know, tens of millions of dollars pushing it through. Okay. So emit signal. And let me just quickly check. Oh, it cannot be used like a method. I probably have to pass it as a string, so it's probably like comma, and then some value. Let's see what happens if I do this. 1 2 1 2. Okay, so it's emitting properly now. How do I pass a value through it though? Is it just a comma? Oh, it might be here. If that doesn't work, we'll look it up. There's got to be another example somewhere. Yeah, but they've got a lot, and it's funny because we don't need to slam on Unity that much. I know it's one of these formats. There we go. So now I just have to listen for it. So if I do bit and I come over, look here, here's our custom signal that we made. Now, if I wanted the bit itself to listen to it, that'd be great, but I want something else to listen to it. It'll stick the way I know. I haven't done it this way before. At least not in a while. I could probably look it up. Let me save this off. I'm going to grab an older project where I've worked with signals before the way I want. I think I have it on this computer. If not, I can download it. Sorry, missing chat. I haven't really followed the development. Like I said, probably close to like a year. Dungeons, globals. I don't have my global events in here, do I? No. I know I used them not that long ago. I would have put up my scripts folder, and there should be a folder called scripts. Let me pull up GitHub. In one of these repositories. Here we go. I just don't have it on this computer. So globals. Oh, crap. Not in this one. Is there a way to search through all my repositories at once? I know what the name of the script is. I just don't know which one it's in. Here we go. Ah, this wasn't it either. Yeah, I know I've got a working example of it already. I'm just trying to figure out which one it's in. This was not it. Okay, well, let's Google. Well, let's try it from scratch. I made my custom signals. We'll open that up. I'm not going to make a full manager. Let's go in. We'll grab the bit. Not well. We need the scene anyway. I'm going to come up here. Instead of having it being local there, I'm going to try to put it in here so it's global. Just fix some of the spacing. We'll come into Project Manager. I want to make a video on this anyway, the 3 different ways I use it, so I need to learn the C# way anyway. So we'll go grab that script, custom signals. I'm just going to call it CS for short. We add it. And then inside, that's all I need to do in there. And that makes a signal that anyone can listen to and anyone can emit. I do have to come into onReady, and like in GD script, it would just be CS dot like emit. I know it's different in C# though. Helps if I spell it right too, right? This always happens. I always end up over engineering stuff. So it's got a signal emitter. And again, this is not in C#. Okay, so we got him. We're sending out the signal. That's right. So he's sending out a string item code. He's emitting. That's how you do it when it's all in one script. But when you want to do it outside, like a global, this is how you listen to it. But this is how you listen to it from this script. So I can't do it this way because, well, maybe I can. I need a way to be able to connect to CS for my bits, but this should work for the listener. So let me open up decimal. And we are going to need ready now. So public. Why is override not working? Void. Ready. Nothing is passed to it. And again, normally it's CS. That's not going to work because I know we have to get a reference to CS before we can use it inside of C#. Emitter signal here, which will be bit changed. The receiver, which will be us. This, and then the function, which will be update total. How do I get a reference to? I need to get a reference to a global, so let me figure that out. New tab. Here we go. C#. Get access global. Okay, so global. So we have to get the node. So we'll do private. I'm still going to call it CS. We'll do lowercase CS. The type CS. I'll call it CS. And then it should be CS and again CS. I should actually keep it capitalized because it's global, but I'm just going to leave it like that. So root. And then it should just be what about CD? Now I'm going to typo. Okay, let's see how that works with the error. And helps you put all the semicolons in. Damn you, Python. What's the next one? The neighbor text for CS cannot be found. Are you missing a directive? That's what I called it inside of Unity, right? Well, let's comment these out and let's take a look inside of the hierarchy, what they're called. As we fix all the errors. So I might not be able to use the abbreviated name, which kind of sucks. Oh, so I'm going to do the on ready and listen to it up here. And again, public void override. Let's see if we can find a better example. So we have. It's not what I want. Oh, I wonder if they'll do it. Like this is GD script. Sure. Okay, so GD script bar player. Okay, so we're gonna come in. We've added the script, so he's added 2 here, 1 for player variables, which is a type that. He's got another global, which is he's actually added a scene. Okay. Okay, so let me load mine up. Yeah, no. Okay, so he's doing his var, and I hate using var. I like to have mine typed. Okay, we'll just start here. We got to come up here. I'm still going to put it at the top because it's a signal. I like my signals at the top of my script. So private, and I couldn't call it CS. He calls it play variables, which is the name. I wonder if, let me just double check. I wonder if you just can't do that in, well, I'll try CS again. If it still doesn't work, I'll try custom signals. Just a sec. Yes? Yeah. What'd you want? Just me. Okay. I forget what I was doing. Oh yeah, private CS, and I'm just gonna call it CS lowercase. And then down here, I should be able to say CS is equal to get node, the type of node I want to get should be CS. And then I need the path, which is fine. I'm just going to use the root. Whoa, what happened there? So my son's home. I might just back this up to the way we had it before and save it there and then come back to it. So it doesn't have CS, so we're going to do custom signals. It recognizes that type, but it also recognizes CS. Oh, I've already got it ready. Oh, idiot. Chat, you didn't catch that? Let me quickly catch up. Signal still sounds cool. Yeah, I use signals a ton inside of Godot. They're much easier. I guess when you're starting off with them, I'll put a video just specifically how to use them in C#. There's tons of stuff on how to use them in Godot. Sorry, GD script. Super easy. They're handled a little bit differently in C#. Just as effective though. Like I said, I've used them at least once in one C# project where I've had the global script for it. Let's try this now. Yeah, I use it a ton. The name bit change does not exist in the current context. Okay, so now we have to say CS dot emit. Okay. So I've connected to it. Let's just try typing it all out. Fortunately, I wish I knew why my autocomplete was not working. So CS dot you see that's not working. Since my son's home, I know I'm gonna have to go soon. Let me just do a few more searches, see if I can't get it together. Again. Again, this doesn't show how to do a global one though. Here. Let's see if I get better results. That's just the regular doc. I don't need that. And this is what we're doing. And this is the one I was just reading. So we got a global, which is a type notes. We're setting up a current scene. We got the get and set. Okay, so we got our signal. We set up a delegate. Yep. The sprite, we set it up. Again, this is not a global one, but I'm just trying to see, is this on a different script? It doesn't say. So we emit the signal here. And then we got to listen for it. I'm not seeing where it's listening. Well, this is the listener. I think this is all in one script he's doing it. Signal again. GD script. Okay, I'm just gonna back it up. I'll upload it to. Oh, I've closed it and started back up. So I'm gonna go back, put it the way it was before, where it worked, and I'll upload it to Git if anyone wants it. I'll work on signals later. No problem. Next week we should have videos. It's actually funny because right now every live stream I have, I get about 40 a 40-point sub loss. So that ratio that you were talking about earlier, who was it? Wanna fight? That'll bounce out real soon. You know that. Okay, so what do we have? We have numbering conversion. All of these. I just like my bits first. I'm going to move them down. And honestly, I like that down. I just like it like that. It doesn't really matter. That's just the way I like it. So the layout's still the same. Let's go in. We'll switch our scripts back. So I'm going to get rid of all the custom signal stuff. So project settings. Oh, why is my custom signal not here? Did I not add it? Did I not hit add? Did I forget to hit add last time? Is that why it's happening? Yeah, I'm not going to be streaming every day, even though I like it. I try to get at least 1 hour of code in, and especially like learning new stuff. That's the best way to go about it. In this case, I'm just doing a lot of refreshing. Let me check this again. We have it now. That means I got to take all of this and move it again. Yeah, that still didn't work, so I'll make a completely separate project just to jump around with these, and we'll do it then. So custom signals, let's get rid of this. Do I ever see the Houdini guy stream? The name's familiar. I have to look. I'm not sure. Chrono? I like C#. GD script is much easier. I showed you earlier. Performance-wise, for 95+% of the stuff you do, GD, like if you're just learning Godot, start with GD script. There's so much documentation and examples out there. Go with that. Once you get more comfortable with it, then you can jump into, say, like C#. The documentation is much more sparse. Well, the examples are much more sparse for C#. So for my channel, for Godot stuff, I'm going to try to do it all in C#, just so there's more examples of it out there. No, I've not seen that. There's one guy, Houdini. I know my son watched him, and it has something to do with something. Houdini's in the name of it, and I think it's a Minecraft channel though. Okay, well, let's get this cleaned up, the code, so it goes back to working. So we still have a label for the bit value. I need to put another private LBL, I think it was decimal. Yes. And I'm just going to call that decimal display. Oh, new sub. There we go. I missed it. Oh, sub train. So yes, I've been playing around with Fusion as well. Thanks for the follow, guys. I'll have to make that longer because I didn't get a chance to read it. Yeah, I've been playing around with Fusion to try to get some customization. I forgot to activate the 8-ball as well. ST Hedgehog, thanks for the follow. And Mr. Techco Music, thank you for the, I guess technically we're on YouTube now, so it's subscribe. Thanks. Wow, only 3 more to go. I have to do another stream this week. Okay, so anyway, so we got these set up. We have to go find them. We're getting rid of the signals for now. So I'm just going to grab, well, no. Decimal display. is equal to, oh, we don't have to do the parent anymore. Get node, the node type is LBL decimal. And then we have to give it its name. And the name was also LBL decimal. Let's keep it the same. And then we have to do the same thing here. Now, I know they've changed it, updated quite a bit of the C# interaction in Godot 4. I used to follow the changes quite religiously up till about a year ago. I just don't care. I'm just going to wait till it's almost ready. Then I'll start worrying about it. Playing around with nightly builds. One day something works, one day it doesn't. So I'm just going to wait. But I am still excited to see its release. It's going to be, I think once it comes out shortly afterwards, I think you're going to see a lot of people switching over to it. It doesn't solve a lot of the optimizations. In 3.4, the one I'm using right now, they just added LOD, and it works really, really good. And I think that was one of the big, well, it's going to be one of the big game changers for Godot in 3D, is having the LOD. It's not the only thing that it needs to save it, but I shouldn't say save it, to make it on par with the big boys, but it was definitely one of them. Okay, so we got our node. I should be able to uncomment this. We're not going to emit a signal anymore. Dang nabbit. Except now we got to do negative. Was that all the ones we needed? Let's find out. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work without errors. There we go. Got some signals, so I got to get rid of that up there. Forgot that one. Okay, so I'm still referencing the node. We got to get rid of that. And what was that error? And again, I always do this. We'll get rid of this. Don't need that. And when we're going for it, since it's not directly below us, again, you don't need that when you're doing just GD script. There we go. And we'll split it up so it's not just, ooh. That's why I was doing it as a nibble, so I could have the nibbles differently. Because now if I duplicate this, we'll move it over here. The decimal's the same. Let me fix this first. So 5 is this one. That'll be 16. 32. 64. 128. Well, now we got to make some sort of game out of this. I've spent too much time on it. I need another hex over here just for this nibble. I'm just going to duplicate it. I should have duplicated with the other, moved it over. And then I need to change the reference. This is going to be really messy in code. I am not going to like this, but my son's home and I just want to get it operational. So I'm going to make another one. This one I'll call 2. one. And, you know, I should keep the names the same. I'll clean this up later where I have it back in the nibbles. Because this is going to drive me now. Oh! Nope, we're just sticking with the nibble. Because now when I click the buttons, I got to know which one to go to. Now, we're just going to stick with the nibble. I'll upload here, and then we'll come back to it later. If anyone's even interested in it, like, not exactly the most exciting project. Well, to be fair, I can still do the nibble. Sorry, not the nibble. I need 2 digits, so let me move this over. I'm just going to use the same hex display. I'll put it in the middle, so FF. I wanted an F over here and an F over here. I don't have time for that. I do have to switch this. I went ahead and made a T. We got this new Kenyan tea. I really like it. Especially since it was really cheap. And I've never had Kenyan red tea before. And I completely forgot about it because I'm used to it on this side, but my headphones on this side and the cable will knock it over. So I have it on this side and I just forget about it. It's got a really, I don't know how to describe it, a really cool taste. Not even, again, I'm not worried about it. I think it's just going to work out of the box like this, right? Yep. So, there we go. We can add as many nibbles as we want. We just have to adjust the values for them. I got a little bit of time, so I'm just going to balance all of these out as far as being on the same y-axis. So, rect. 213. There we go. And let's grab a font. I gotta get my babies. Let's go to, well, I usually get it from Dafont. Yep, Dafont. Excuse me. Go ahead, we'll download this. I'm gonna go and just throw it onto my desktop for now. It's done. We'll shrink this down. We don't need that anymore. I'll research all that later. Let's open up Bibis. And I'm just going to grab the true type. I believe either one will work. I'm just going to grab that one. I'm not even going to make a font folder. All my students will be raging. I always make them make a font folder, even if it's just one font. Okay. I'm going to save it. We'll start off with hex. I'll come down, use a custom font. Just remember how to do this. It's under, should be a font. Looks different. I swore there was a different menu for it. This is the menu, but I thought it was in a different spot. Anyway, new dynamic font. We'll double click it. It wants a font. Where'd Bibis go? It's regular. Okay. Settings. Let's make it bigger. Let's double that. Let's do 32. I'm not going to bother with the outline or anything like that. I'll just leave it as white. Let's take a look at it here. That's cool. I'm going to save it as the dynamic font so I can just drag and drop it into the others. Save. What do I see my number version? I'm going to say Bibis. I'll do a DF in front of it for dynamic font. And then I'm going to grab decimal. I should be able to come down and go theme, overrides, fonts. It's going to want a font. I think I just drag it in now. Wrong one. There we go. I don't have to center that one. So we'll save that off. We need to come into the scene for one of these. Click on this one and the exact same thing. I'm just going to use the same font for everything. There we go. We'll save that off. We'll come back into the other scene. There we go. Much bigger font, a little bit easier to read. And there we go. We have it. I want to get the events working, and then I don't know if I'll do it all live on stream. I'm going to switch these over to text fields so I can type in, let's say I type in the number 10 in decimal. Then it should give me 10. Like it should automatically adjust these and give me the letter as well. But anyway, if anyone has any questions, let's go ahead and ask them now. If not, I'm going to head out and start making supper and see what my son has for homework. Next week, we'll have some videos up for the 2D car series. I've already got the GitHub up. The first 4 videos, not that exciting, I guess. Like the first one's an intro. The second one's getting the C# version or the mono version of Godot installed. What you have to get what you have to use to get it installed. The first one will be the car controller, which we did in the last live stream. There's a really good car controller I like from Kids Can Code. It's in GD script, so all I really do is just convert it over to C#. The next one's tile maps, auto mapping, which is really cool because it allows you to load up your sprites and then you can just paint your sprites onto the scene and it'll automatically configure what sprite's the best one to go where. We'll do that, and then after that's when we're actually start getting some kind of cool customization stuff. We'll start with a lap timer, and for those that didn't catch the last live stream, it's like a split screen, 2 players, something simple. Again, something just get familiar a little bit with Godot and C# inside of Godot. Oh, I forgot to upload this to Git. Just in case anyone else wants it. Most of the stuff I'm going to be doing now on the channel, I'm just throwing it up on Git. So we got all these changes. We'll stage them all. Version 1. Now, when you think about it, we had it probably done, what, an hour? We spent like an hour trying to do signals in C# while doing it the way I wanted to do them. We'll go ahead, we'll commit, push them up. We'll head over to GitHub. Let's get rid of the babies. This is the stuff I need for the video. I'll probably make it tonight, but again, I probably won't get around to editing them and putting them up. What did we just call this? Let me see all my repositories yet. Most of them are public. Internet's going slow today. Come on. Yeah, it's up there. And the door's up. Hello?
There's only one TV dinner. So I got that for you, and then I got some hot
Okay, I can head out after and pick something up.
pies.
Okay, I'm just finishing off my live stream now, so.
You ready?
Okay. I forgot I was supposed to cook rice today. Anyone want some cooked crickets? For school. Get an answer wrong, get a cricket. At least it's funny for me. But anyway, it's up if anyone wants it. I don't. So you switched to Godot from Unity, or just? I pretty much switched to Godot for pretty much everything. I like Godot so much better, especially for 2D stuff. Like, there's no comparison in 2D. And not to mention when I'm teaching like classes for it, installing Godot. Usually when I teach classes, it's purely just GD script. It's like a 2-second download and everything. You've got everything you need to make games. Now there's some templates, export templates you can download, which can take about a minute to download and install, and then that'll allow you to export to all the different platforms that you want to. But to be able to just to download and get running in 10 seconds compared to Unity, when I've got a class of, let's say, 14 kids and I've got to install it on 14 laptops, you know how painful that is? But yeah, for the foreseeable future, I'll probably just be doing Godot. Like, everything is just so much easier in Godot for me. It's so much faster, I guess I should say. But we'll see how C# goes. I may end up doing like 6 months of C# and then being like, yeah, I'm going to go back to GD script. Probably not, though. Everyone's going to stick around and keep pushing me on with C#, right? Because everyone wants that. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so I'm going to end the stream here. I want to thank everyone for showing up. We got up to 7 new subs, so we only need 3 more for the week. And we're only halfway through the week, so that's pretty good. Not a problem. And again, even if you don't want to switch, you're like deeply in the Unity camp, that's fine. Like, it doesn't really matter what engine you're working in. The processes that you go through creating like an inventory system, it doesn't really matter what engine you're in. It's still the same like mechanics type thing. So it's a good exercise to try to port it over from system to system. If Unreal Engine was faster to build in, I'd probably pick it. But anyway, go ahead, let me know down below in the comments if you stuck around this long. What kind of games would you like to see made in Godot? Either 2D or 3D. The next one, like I said, is the car one. Probably the next one's going to be a 2D platformer. But anyway. Yeah, reading. Yeah. And again, I think it's a good exercise to be able to see how someone did something inside of like one game engine, then you do it in the other. I did a lot of my older projects from Unity inside of Godot when I was learning it, because I already knew how the game mechanics worked. I just had to learn the engine. Yeah, I haven't done anything isometric yet. There is a guy on YouTube that does a lot of isometric Godot stuff, and I think he's even doing a multiplayer game. He's doing an isometric games. I keep forgetting about uploading to itch. If you take a look at the game jams, a lot of people, like the number of people using Godot, it's going up quite a bit because it's just so fast to work in. You can't hit as many platforms out of the box. That's something I meant to show people. Project, export, add. So you have Android, iOS, HTML, Mac, Universal Windows Platform, Windows Desktop, Linux. There are others, but they're third-party ones. Like there's some people that have put their games on a Switch, but it's a third-party people. You can, since it's open source, you can write it yourself if you're capable, or you can go pay a small fee and use someone else's. But you get these ones out of the box, which covers what? 90% at least of what you're aiming for. Oh yeah, there's Android. I'm like, Android's not here. Like Android, mobile, HTML5, like these. This you can get to Xbox with this. So PS5 isn't there, or just any of the PSs. I don't know, what platforms are you currently designing for that are not here? Chills art style, low fly horror thing. Okay. Yeah, so for me, this is pretty much everything. And like I said, you do get the added benefit. I'm pretty sure you can do Xboxless. I haven't tried. I've done Android, iOS. Yeah, I've done the 5 basic ones. Actually, I think I've done Linux as well. I only use Linux on one of my laptops. But anyway, yeah, all the basic platforms that you want are there. The 3D is not that bad. I guess you weren't here when we were showing off some of the stuff. No one who is good at 3D game design seems to have tried Godot yet. Let's go back to YouTube. Godot. Yeah, I know there was one guy who was designing a forest. And he did such an amazing job. I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God, that's like one of the best things I've seen. Oh, here it is. And again, you have like the river tools, the terrain engine. I can, at least compared to a year ago with, actually no, I used the terrain engine this summer with the summer camp. It's probably around on par with what Unity has already. And this isn't even Vulkan. This is 3.3. This is, I'm using 3.4. 3.3 is the latest stable. So if you went and grabbed just 3.3, it's not bad. And the painting tools on here I find so much better. I mean, a cover-based shooter, Unreal. Yeah, Unreal still has the best like fidelity type graphics, the best shading, the best optimization, best everything. It's also not open source, if that matters to you. Honestly, to me, open source matters very little because I very seldomly actually go to the source and add anything or check anything out. When I was younger, it made a difference, but not now. I'm old. I just want something that works. Yeah, I really like the Godot terrain. I assume you can't hear the video. Because you couldn't hear the music, so I assume you couldn't hear that. So you get that nice depth of field. And the cubes, the average height of a person. But there were some others. There's another guy that has some sort of like dungeon or castle. And he came from Unity as well. This is older. This is using the Vulkan engine. But without textures on it, you can't really see what's going on. They just had a huge update to the lighting. Boom, boom, boom. And it was just like a week ago. Yeah, the new GD script coming out. I haven't read to see how efficient it is. Oh yeah, we get decals now. I don't think the current version that I'm using has decals, but you'll get them in the next version. So graphic fidelity, I think it's on par with Unity. And I'll leave you to look that up. Like I know some people will talk about, you're like, oh, but you can have 2,000 physics bodies running around. or rigid bodies. And it's like, well, whose game has 2,000 rigid bodies running around in it? That seems like an optimization error. But anyway, yeah, go ahead and check it out. There's tons of videos out there on it. Explore or just follow along with the videos as we go along. If there's no other questions, I'm gonna head out. I gotta go pick up dinner, and I'll spend some time with the family, the real family, not the YouTube family, which grew by 2. Again, thanks for showing up, everyone, and I'll see you next live stream or video. Bye bye.